Hey guys, so originally I had something totally different scripted for this video, but I decided to go another way. I've been a little bit absent since LFCC, and while my original plan was to do a Yalk roundup and book haul, because believe me, I bought a lot of books, that didn't exactly happen. I had a huge stress meltdown after LFCC. If I'm honest with myself, it was kind of a long time coming, but I just kept pushing and pushing because there were so many things that I wanted to do, and now I'm regretting that. It wasn't pretty. It was one of the worst meltdowns I've had in a long time. Like, panic attack, total breakdown, emergency appointment with my psychiatrist kind of meltdown. But it's my own damn fault and I need to hold myself responsible. See, the thing is with having a chronic illness is after you've had it for a while, it becomes so much a part of you that you have no normal baseline. I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue at the age of 12, and at this point, I don't remember what it feels like to be healthy. But that means that also everyone in my life now, with the exception of my family, has only ever known me with chronic fatigue. They weren't there for healthy Lucy. And that means they have no comparison. How I am now to them is how I've always been. This is my normal now. And because I only really see people on my good days, since my bad days I'm not fit for much more than lying on the sofa, they don't really have an idea of how it affects my life other than theoretically. Now, before I go any further, I want to clarify, this is no one's fault. I'm not blaming anyone, but it happens. I have passed what I like to call the sympathy point. I've had this illness for long enough now that it's not a new thing and people just kind of expect me to know how to cope with it and get on with my life. After all, I deal with it every day, right? I must know how to manage it by now. But the dangerous thing in having everyone around you treat you like you don't have an illness is you start to treat yourself that way. You start to doubt how much your illness actually affects you. You start to think that you can be normal if you just try hard enough. This puts me in the fun position of not wanting to constantly bring up my CFS because it's depressing and I'm not a big fan of reminding myself of my illness all the time, but also not wanting people to forget that I have it. I pushed too hard. I tried to pretend that I didn't have a chronic illness. I was at a point where I was probably the best I've ever been since my diagnosis, and I took that and ran with it. Because there were cool things going on that I wanted to be part of and achieve and push myself with. I pretended that my stress and tiredness were just regular person stress and tiredness, and I kept going. And now I'm closer to a relapse than I have been in a long time. It's hilarious because I did the exact same thing when I was 16 and I thought I'd learn from that. Nope. Good job, me. So what I'm trying to say is I need to pull it back and I need to reevaluate some priorities a little bit, and I need you lovely lot to bear with me while I do that. I enjoy vlogging, so I want to keep up with it, but it requires so much energy from me that I'm not sure how consistent I can be. And as for things like cosplay, I definitely need to pull it back on that. I've got a couple more projects that I've already committed to, but then after that I'm going to take a bit of a break from the costume making for the rest of the year and reevaluate where I'm at with that after Christmas. It kind of sucks, but the last time I felt like this, I relapsed hardcore. And there is so much more at stake now than there was when I was 16. I can't afford to relapse. I need to recharge a bit, reintroduce nap time into my life, and read some books, play some video games, get lost in writing for a little bit. Basically remind myself how to enjoy my free time. My anxiety and depression are seriously influenced by my CFS, so as you can imagine, I have not been in the best place mentally right now. I'm working on it. I want to try and be as open as I can about this because as far as I'm concerned, the more people who talk about chronic illness and mental illness as a normal part of life, the better. So I may do some more videos about CFS and anxiety because venting to a camera is a much healthier coping mechanism than taking it out on myself or the people around me. And if I help someone in a similar situation, then great. But for now, I can't really promise much of anything. I'm back to taking things one day at a time and it kinda sucks. Be patient with me, guys. I've had this illness for 8 years and I'm still learning. I hope you're all feeling better than I am, and I will try and do a Yalk roundup soon because despite all the illness crap, I had a great weekend. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make more videos about coping with anxiety and chronic illness. Not that I'm coping all that brilliantly right now, but you get the idea. Now, life doesn't stop just because of a few setbacks, so I am still very excited to be a cosplay and author guest at Sci-Fi Wales on September 5th. Details down below. I will talk a little bit more about that in what will hopefully be next week's video, but yeah, just letting you know that it's a thing if you weren't aware already. Also, I was on Radio 4's Late Night Women's Hour the other week, discussing fandom and fanfic and all things nerdy. So if you want to give that a listen, I've put the link to the podcast down below. We discussed mpreg fanfiction on live radio. It was brilliant. I'm gonna go try and make the most of the small amount of energy I have today and actually get stuff done. So I will hopefully talk to you next week. Bye! Hey guys, in case you weren't aware, it's LFCC this weekend, which also means it's Yalk time.